Lakemont Park is a small park in Altoona, Pennsylvania with a lot of history. First opened in 1894, Lakemont Park is currently owned by the city of Altoona and is best known for being the home of Leap the Depths, the world's oldest operating roller coaster. Lakemont Park operated as a traditional amusement park for over a century, but they are far from prosperous in recent times. Always on the edge of bankruptcy, this park was not able to maintain all their rides and was always considered to be kind of a dump. Their marquee attraction, Leap the Depths, sat in disrepair for years, and the only thing that saved it from the scrap heap was the fact that the park did not have enough money to tear it down. In 2018, Lakemont Park announced that the park as we know it was going to close down, and a new vision for Lakemont would reopen in 2019. The park was described as a family entertainment location with some amusements. Lakemont closed down, sold off most of their rides, and focused on the things that they could do well. To preserve the park and its history, it was necessary to evolve to fit the current needs of the community. We recently visited Lakemont Park and were able to experience this new vision firsthand. Lakemont Park sits next to a minor league ballpark, with its largest coaster, Skyliner, overlooking the park. The park and ball field share a parking lot, and there is plenty of free parking available. After parking your car, you simply walk through the parking lot and into an open gate. There's no entry fee, no security check. In fact, there's no attendant of any type. Entering Lakemont Park feels much more like walking into a city park than it does walking into an amusement park. As you enter the park and head in the direction of the rides, you'll pass 2 mini golf courses, batting cages, and basketball and volleyball courts. Lakemont Park has picnic shelters scattered throughout, and from what I could tell, they are free and open to the public. We saw several families grilling out at these shelters, and it is certainly acceptable to bring your own food into the park. Lakemont also provides common picnic games like cornhole and shuffleboard. Just bring your ID to a ticket booth and they'll loan you the equipment that you need to play. The new vision for Lakemont Park is to be a space that the entire community can use and enjoy, and it was clear to me during our visit that the community as a whole seems to be embracing the new Lakemont Park. One of my favorite spots in the park is an area called the C2 Trolley House. This facility previously housed the park's bumper cars, but after their removal, it was turned into an open-air community hangout space. The C2 Trolley House is a bar that serves both food and alcohol, tables throughout, outdoor TVs, and a small stage for live music. The food was reasonably priced, and the plate of pulled pork barbecue nachos I had was absolutely delicious. There are several other food options throughout Lakemont, but the Trolley House seemed to be the place where the locals are going to hang out. On the day that we visited Lakemont, Bruce the guitar guy was playing in the Trolley House, and we all enjoyed listening to him play. Due to the COVID lockdown, it had been months since we had had the opportunity to enjoy live music, and listening to Bruce was a great escape from social distancing. It's an unfortunate reality that in any park review in 2020 we need to discuss COVID, but that's the world we live in now. Lakemont Park has the usual path markers and signs encouraging social distancing and masks, and the tables in public areas are spaced out to allow for safe distance between guests. All park employees wore masks, but honestly, mask compliance with guests was fairly low, probably less than 50%. As the evening went on, even fewer guests wore masks, and by the time we left, virtually nobody had a mask on. Lakemont Park is still not the least COVID-conscious park that we visited this year. That dubious honor still goes to Indiana Beach, but it was obvious that COVID safety is not a priority at Lakemont Park. While Lakemont Park sold off most of its rides, it did retain a few of the most popular offerings. Park visitors have the option of buying an all-you-can-ride wristband or individual tickets. We were able to take advantage of the Friday night special pricing of 4 wristbands for $55, but regularly priced wristbands are not much more. And individual rides on the park's coasters are only $3 each if you don't want to go with the wristband option. The few remaining attractions in Lakemont Park are great fits for what the park is today. The go-karts are busy all night, and as the evening went on, mini golf courses filled up with lots of local teenagers. The antique cars were hits with our kids and are actually some of the fastest antique cars that we've rented. The trade was also an enjoyable ride with a nice scenic trail throughout the park. Lakemont Park currently has 3 operating roller coasters. Little Leaper is a standard Allen Herschel Little Dipper. The park does not allow guests over 12 years old to ride, so I had to miss out on this credit, but my oldest daughter, Madeline, took at least 10 laps on it, and she gave it her stamp of approval. The largest coaster in the park is Skyliner. This John C. Allen coaster started life in New York in 1960, before being relocated to Lakemont in 1987. Skyliner has an L-shaped double out and back layout and features PTC trains with buzz bars. Skyliner is not particularly rough in the front, but it did beat us up a little bit when we rode in the back. Our front row rides provided a few nice pops of airtime. The back row was a completely different story, with several moments of intense airtime. It's not every day that you get tossed out of your seat so far that your legs hit the buzz bar, but Skyliner managed to accomplish that in the back row. I'm a sucker for these classic coasters, and never pass up the opportunity to take a spin on one of Alan's creations. And while this is nothing that'll break into my top 50, Skyliner is a fun ride that I'm glad I had the opportunity to experience. The final coaster at Lakemont is the one that puts this park on the map. Leap the Dips is the world's oldest surviving roller coaster. Built in 1902, Leap the Dips is a side friction coaster with a figure-8 layout. The trains consist of single cars that hold up to 4 riders each. There are no restraints at all on Leap the Dips. You simply sit down and hold on. Leap the Dips is not a monster coaster by any definition. Standing only 41 feet tall, with a maximum speed of only 10 miles an hour, and featuring a huge maximum drop of 9 feet, you would not expect this ride to be anything memorable. But the reality is, it was a great ride. Leap the Dips is smooth, feels much faster than it actually is, and each drop provides a small pop of airtime, particularly in the back seat. Sure, Leap the Dips isn't a really thrilling ride, but I found it to be fun, even by modern standards. Leap the Dips was by far the most popular ride in the park on the day of our visit, and it seemed to be attracting a nice mix of both locals and out-of-town coaster enthusiasts. Leap the Dips has been very well preserved, thanks largely in part to the tireless efforts of Ace and the roller coaster community. At several points throughout its life, this coaster is in danger of being demolished, but each time the community came together to save the ride. Leap the Dips is an important piece of history, and is a ride that all coaster enthusiasts need to make the pilgrimage to experience at some point in their roller coaster journey. Everyone in my family enjoyed their visit to Lakemont Park, and I certainly hope to visit again someday. If you're a coaster enthusiast who's on your way to Kennywood, Knoebels, or Hershey, you owe it to yourself to make a detour to check out Lakemont. Leap the Dips alone is worth the trip, but the park as a whole is a simply enjoyable experience and a nice place to spend an evening. I would recommend a visit to anyone, even if they don't share my passion for roller coasters. Like most small-town parks, Lakemont is an important part of the community. It is a place that gives the people of Altoona a local identity as much as it is a place for them to go to have a good time. While many people were upset to see Lakemont Park part with many of its rides, the new vision for the park seems to be very well received by the community as a whole. The long-term future of Lakemont Park may still be uncertain, but that future certainly looks to be much brighter than it was prior to the transformation. Have you visited Lakemont Park, then taken a ride on Leap the Dips? If so, please share your thoughts about the park in the comments section, and if you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing for more content from Coaster Center. Until next time, ride on, coaster fans.